There is a problem plaguing consumers' everyday lives when it comes to their cell phones. It doesn't matter if you're iPhone, Samsung, or Google, and it doesn't matter if you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile. If you have a postpaid wireless account, you're probably being scammed in some way. The problem stems from commission incentives, corporate greed, and tracked metrics. I worked in the wireless industry for nearly a decade. I saw this problem firsthand. It didn't matter if the original salesperson was from corporate, customer service, door to door sales, or an authorized dealer. If you spoke to a human to switch your service, purchase a new device, or just trying to lower your bill, you were very likely lied to. Let's start with a topic most of us can agree on. Marketing for these wireless carriers is incredibly deceptive. Take this $0 a month ad for AT&T as example. The most noticeable thing about it is the price being advertised, $0 per month, free. If you look just a little bit closer, you'll see the fine print says with qualifying trade-in. That's the catch. But more than that, it doesn't explain what a qualifying trade-in is. And once you go into a store, signs are plastered about with any year, any condition trade-in advertising. This does not mean that your busted iPhone 6 can be traded in for a 17 Pro for $0 a month. You see, the trade-in value of your device is put into tiers of values. If it hits tier 3, you get $350 off. If it hits tier 2, you get $830 off. It is only when you trade in a tier 1 device that you can get $1,100 off. So yes, technically, you can trade in your iPhone 6 and get the 17 Pro. But we all know that's not what people reading the sign from their car as they drive by are expecting. Or how about this advertisement for a 55 plus plan for $99 per month? It seems pretty straightforward. If you're older than 55, you get a discount. But if you notice, the rest of the sign says when combined with home internet. What if you don't want to switch your internet, or you can't, or it's not even available in your area? Well, you pay more, about $20 a month more. This ad is meant to signal to older people on a fixed budget that they can save money, but only if you switch everything over. And if you don't want to, or you can't for one reason or another, you get shafted. It is cheaper to get the base value plan with 2 lines than it is to do the 55 plus plan without internet. Oh, and all of that is also only with autopay from a checking account. Not a credit card, not a debit card, only your checking account. In fact, there is no autopay discount when it comes to having a credit card. Well, that doesn't affect me, you say. I'm not 55 plus anyways. In fact, I don't even want a new phone. I just want to switch my service over. Do I have news for you? Now, I know this may come as a shock to you, but sales associates are there to sell things to you, and the incentive structure reinforces that. At T-Mobile, you get 10% of the customer's bill as commission. At AT&T, there are varying commission payouts depending on the services you sell. Verizon, I'm not as familiar with, but I'm certain it resembles one or both of these. Going forward in this, I'm going to be sticking with AT&T's commission structure because that's what I'm most versed in. Now, you'll be happy to know that at AT&T, they are not incentivized to sell you the most expensive phone. That is, unless you count Samsung trying to pay us a bonus for selling their stuff in a stupid tier list sort of thing, but most people buy iPhones, and so sellers just kind of view that as a bonus anyways, instead of trying to push them super hard. Anyway, AT&T pays based on the plan that you're purchasing, the internet speed that you're signing up for, and any add-ons that were put onto your bill. Well, I know exactly what plan I want, and I know I don't want insurance, I don't care about upgrading early, and I don't need internet. Cool. Well, you might get someone that cares about all of that, or you might get shafted with a bullshit explanation about policy or something else, or you might not even be told what you're signing up for in the first place. Sure, it's happened to you before. You walk in, say, hey, I'm switching from Verizon because it got too expensive, and the salesperson is immediately cheerful and happy to help. The conversation goes real well. You tell them you're not looking for a new phone, and to your surprise, there's little to no resistance with that. You get so caught up in all of the jargon and the bullshit that you forget to ask how much it's going to be. Or you do ask and you're told $60 a month plus taxes. Fair enough, that's significantly cheaper than what you were paying before. But shortly after you leave, you get this email and it says that your bill's going to be $130 a month. That's strange. Well, I'll just call down to the store and talk to Mike. He was nice. I'm sure he has a reasonable explanation. Mike says, oh yeah, That's just an estimate. It's always wrong. What I told you is correct. And if there's an issue, come back in. We'll look at your bill and we'll see what happened. So a couple weeks go by, your bill's ready to view, and lo and behold, the estimate is right within a couple of dollars, give or take. So you go back into the store with your bill, and you see that you're on the most expensive plan, with insurance, and this weird home protection plan that you never even heard of until now. Mike says he'll take care of you. He asks for your phone, opens the app, moves your plan down to a lower one, removes the insurance and the home tech protection plan that you did not ask for, and tells you to call the billing department. He probably gives you some spiel about the company messing something up and tells you good luck. But now, it's on you to get your bill right. So why? Why do the sellers bother with this in the first place? Well, they're paid to load your bill as much as possible. They made $70 based on the plan, $2 for the insurance, and another $5 for that home protection plan. So you were expecting a $60 bill, and he got paid $77. And that $130 bill didn't even include a phone payment. If you were getting a phone too, that bill could have easily been another $50 more with an early upgrade feature that you didn't ask for either. The associates are forced to either hit certain metrics or lose their job. That sort of incentive, combined with the fact that they make more money when they hit those metrics, can cause people to do shady shit. AT&T expects 80% of their devices to leave with insurance. They expect 75% to be on the highest or second highest plan. They expect 80% to have the early upgrade feature. Some people genuinely want some or all of those things, but it's nowhere near 80%. Your first reaction might be to call out the management, and that's perfectly valid. However, the managers are expected to get the same thing from their managers, and from their managers, and from their managers, all the way up. It is never spoken, but it is understood that you must hit these metrics one way or another. Every interaction, of every day, of every month. Your only real way to fight this is through customer satisfaction surveys, or CSAT surveys as they're called. However, they are conveniently sent out before your first bill, typically about 24 to 48 hours after your interaction at the store. Far too early for you to understand if there is anything actually wrong with what you're paying for. Okay, so the stores suck. That's fine. I'll do it over the phone directly with AT&T, or I'll go to a corporate store, or I'll sign up at Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, somewhere that they aren't paid commission. Sorry, that's not going to work either. Let's start with customer service, the telephone hotline whenever you call into AT&T. You call into customer service because you don't want to drive anywhere, but you don't want to do it online either. They tell you everything. They follow a script, you get all the details, then they hit you with this great promotion to get 2 more lines and phones while still making your bill cheaper. You get the estimate, and wouldn't you know, it's not what you're expecting. So you call back. You get someone else. The person that answers tells you that there's nothing that they can do, you have to go to a store. So you go to the store. Store tells you that because you bought it through customer service, there's nothing that they can do, you have to go through customer service. So now you're sitting here playing telephone tag between the store and customer service trying to figure out what it is that you need to do when all you're trying to do is get rid of these 2 lines that you didn't really need in the first place because it jacked your bill all the way up. Eventually, you get a hold of somebody's manager's manager, and they send you out a return shipping label so you can send these 2 godforsaken phones back to AT&T. Once they are finally received there, they get removed from your bill, and you can finally move on with your life. Get a knock on your door from someone letting you know that you can now get home internet through AT&T. Hooray! Cox can suck it. Mediacom can go fuck themselves. Spectrum can shove it up their rectum. You are elated. You sign up for this wonderful promotion for $25 a month. The salesman tells you that he can save you money on your wireless bill as well. He takes the time to gather everything needed for the switch, orders the phones, and leaves. You know the drill by now. You get that estimated bill, and it's higher than you expected. That's okay. He gave me his card. You call him. Straight to voicemail. You call the person that he was with. Same thing. Straight to voicemail. You're left in the dust. You call customer service. They tell you to go through the salesman. You come to the store. They tell you to go through customer service. You call them back. They tell you to go through the salesman. There's no resolution, and you are once again stuck with the headache of figuring this out. After hours and hours of playing phone tag between customer service and their supervisors and everything else, you finally get a hold of somebody to cancel out everything. Get it all straight back to zero. You're done. You don't want to go through a real person anymore, but you still don't want to give up on AT&T because your only other option is to stay with Verizon, and you know that you can save money with AT&T. Your friends have been saving money with AT&T. Unfortunately, the person that switched them over is no longer at the store. You don't know that it's because that person didn't hit their metrics because they refused to do that shady shit. But either way, you decide to sign up online instead. You already know not to talk to anyone while signing up. Can't talk to a human. The AI is garbage at everything, so you do it entirely on your own. You know the deception with the marketing. You avoid these quote deals like pop-up ads. You get to pick your plan. You decide if you want insurance. You decide how much your bill is going to be. This is how it was supposed to be done the first time. And what do you know? When you get that first bill, it is exactly what you were expecting the first time. Why did it take this much effort just to get what you wanted? Why was it such a hassle? Well, it's because sales doesn't care about your consent. You're told your bill is going to be one price. You may be told that insurance and the early upgrade feature come with the phone. You may be told that there's a recurring charge for technical support. You're sold a fantasy. Your friend who signed up with an honest seller raves about AT&T, and you can say why. If the pricing you were told was true, you'd be raving about AT&T too. However, you're not told that once the sale is over, they don't care to help. You're not told that you have to do autopay to get that pricing. You're not told that your phone doesn't qualify for the trade-in. You're not told the truth about insurance, the upgrade feature, the technical support, the rate plan. You're lied to, whether it's intentionally or by omission. As I sit here writing this script, I am in a meeting where they are telling us to lie about the price of a tiered offer device, and we are being told to say that the price is $10 per month higher than it actually is to cover the early upgrade feature. I cannot make this shit up. But now you know all of this. You know how deceptive it can be and will be. You know what to look for. You know what to warn others about. Here's why you knowing the ins and outs does not matter. People aren't patient. So many people could save their headache by just doing it online, without consulting a salesperson and waiting a couple of days for the phone to come in. But it doesn't matter. No one wants to wait for that new phone. It would take the majority of people no longer going through any salesperson to make an actual difference. AT&T will not care. Verizon will not care. T-Mobile will not care until they see that their pockets are being affected. Until then, sales will not care about your consent. The pressure will remain, the incentives will remain, and nothing will change. No one that starts in this business wants to do things the wrong way. It's repeated pressure from above and the threat of job loss that makes it easier to justify. Some will do everything they can to do it the right way, but eventually, they'll start to dabble in gray areas or they'll be fired for their metrics. Customers lose faith in the company and service. They feel as if there's no fighting back. Customers are second thoughts, strictly numbers, pay pigs, just a way to make ends meet. Leadership doesn't care about the unrealistic goals. They don't want to hear that traffic has slowed. They will continue to push those below them to lie and cheat their way to hitting their metrics. The only thing that matters is the end result, never the road taken to get there. I hate everything about cellular sales, and I'm the manager. I do my best to be as open and honest and clear with every customer I help. I try my best to explain the nuance behind every button click, every quote I give, every sale I make, and my store's metrics suffer for it. I'm told to hit them. I respond with, people don't want this. They say no. I'm told to not take the first no, to not take the second no. I'm told to get it done, one way or another. Unfortunately for them, I understand that no is a complete sentence. I offer the services of more expensive plans, the insurance, the protection, the watch lines, the tablet lines, all of it. I offer all of it. And if I hear a no, I move on. However, I'm a target to be taken out by leadership, the black sheep of the stores in the district, the thorn in their side to be plucked out. Unfortunately, corporate greed is one of those things that can only be contained slightly and only for so long. Fixing this would require a fundamental shift in the power dynamics of our entire society, which, while possible, is incredibly unlikely. What you can do is what I stated before. Do all of your recurring monthly bill shopping online. Don't go into stores at all. Don't talk to the associates you see hosting table events or going door to door. Hang up on the cold calling salespeople that try to reach out to you. If you get a text about a deal, look at it online, read the fine print, and decide if it's worth the hassle. In the event that you find someone that is actually truthfully transparent, see that person and that person only. Do not engage with anyone else, even if they are in the same store. Just know that one day they'll either not be so transparent or they'll be gone. The last option is to avoid any of the big three. Prepaid carriers, while not as good for service or speeds, have less issues with this, but they're not completely innocent either. Look into Mint Mobile, Family Mobile, Straight Talk, Boost, etc. These are self-service options for the most part, so you can avoid a lot of the common pitfalls, but know that if you go into a store, you're still likely to spend money you didn't need to spend. You can also mitigate this somewhat by buying your phones directly through Apple, Samsung, Google. Go to Best Buy, Amazon, or other marketplaces, and then get the service online. Most of these places offer some sort of financing if you're not able to pay for them in full. At the very least, it can save you $120 a year on the early upgrade crap, because that can't be added to BYOD phones anyway. Commission and metric tracking leads to deception by their very nature. It is a matter of time before the salesperson does some shady shit or gets fired. It's only the deceptive ones that can actually last. Some, like myself, stay for a long time to try to fix it, but we either get fired or we quit. This job is not only selling wireless, it's selling your soul, or fighting so hard to defend it that you can't fight anymore. As a manager, I have even reached out to labor unions in an attempt to unionize my store. I understood that it wouldn't benefit me, but if I could at least shield my employees from this strain, it would have been worth it. But no luck. They never returned my call after the first conversation. I've been in the wireless industry for nearly a decade. I worked with AT&T and T-Mobile, heard horror stories from every carrier, worked on the prepaid, the postpaid, cold calling, door-to-door. I've been an associate, a manager, and a district manager. I've seen the corruption, the coercion from all sides. I always put myself on the line and tried my best to be clear while maintaining goals, but I'm so tired of this. Do yourself a favor, heed my words, and avoid humans when buying wireless service or phones. I'm already on my way out. I can't take it anymore. I need out. I need to be somewhere that I can help people, not hurt them. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I know that I'm not going to keep doing this.